What's going on, everyone? Happy Wednesday to everyone. Hopefully everyone is doing well, staying safe, healthy. If you had to take a COVID test, hopefully you have tested negative. If you did test positive, I hope you have a full and speedy recovery with no long COVID issues. It is time now for the Wednesday edition of the Pandemic Update for Wednesday, November 22nd, 2023. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. Maybe you've clicked on this because you've heard about cases rising and that the winter surge is starting prior to Thanksgiving. That's right. In the United States, it's one day before Thanksgiving, the biggest super spreading event of the year for COVID and other viruses. If you're in other parts of the world, I got a couple notes for you as well today. So if at the end of this video you like it, give it a thumbs up. And if you learned something from this, subscribe to my channel down below. Alrighty, we got multiple things to report on today. First off, in the United States, the Walgreens positivity that came in for this past week is 27.8%. That yet again represents a small increase. It's not a big increase, but it represents a small increase. Also in the United States, we do have this to report. In New York State, the number of people in the hospital went up significantly. It's now 1,239. That represents a big increase. Remember, New York State does not report on the weekends. They finished the final day for the previous week on Monday. Then Tuesday, they start the new week showing where the numbers are. Well, Tuesday's numbers showed that it was a pretty big increase. It was roughly about 150 people in the hospital, higher than the previous update. Blast off. It's the start of the winter surge for New York State. Let's go across the George Washington Bridge, if you can. It's the day before Thanksgiving. Come down to New Jersey Turnpike, and now let's come down to Philadelphia. This is also really bad. On Monday, Philadelphia had 924 EMS incidents in one day. That is also a big increase. However, this comes after a day that was lower than what it's been. On Sunday, it was in the upper 600s. Don't have Tuesday's number yet. I'll retweet it on Twitter later on when I get it. All right, coming down to this. This is not good news. Nursing home vaccination rates are low in the United States as COVID cases rise. Only 17% of people have had the booster shot. Now, when I'm talking about vaccination rates, I'm talking about the current booster. Only 17% of seniors, from what I'm seeing, that's what I have here in my notes, 17% of seniors have had the new booster. That is way too low. We need to get that number up big time. And I'm going to tell you why we need to get that number up big time. When we go over to Australia, remember I said I have stuff all around the world? Well, let's get to this. COVID in Australia care homes. Many not boosted. And the deaths in the Australian care homes are starting to go up. So that's not good. They haven't had their latest booster. I don't know about the other boosters, but for the current booster that's out over there, they're not boosted at this time. That's not good. And this wave is starting to cause deaths in the elderly population in the senior care facilities. That's telling me that the original two shots that everybody got back in 2021 is really starting to wane off. You know how a flu shot wanes off? Well, a COVID shot does as well. You know, everyone says COVID is just like the flu. It's not, but in terms of vaccination, it somewhat is, because your immunity from the vaccine does wear off after a while. All right, moving on to this up in Canada. Rock and roll band Kiss. You know who Kiss is. It's a rock and roll band. Well, they had to cancel their Ottawa show at the Canadian Tire Center. Why? Well, the Canadian Tire Center shared the band's statement on social media saying that the show was canceled because of an unforeseen illness in the band party. Now, as you know, I've said this before. We learned this about a month or so ago. Most groups, singers, entertainers, actors, whatever, if they're under contract, they cannot disclose if it's COVID for legal purposes. Do we know if it's COVID? No. But when they're saying unforeseen virus, It's unforeseen illness. It sounds like it's a virus of some sort, whether it be COVID, flu, RSV, something. So that's not good. Then we come over to this. Japan to require visitors from China test negative for tuberculosis amid an uptick in imported cases. Anyone arriving in Japan from Indonesia, Nepal, Myanmar, Vietnam, or the Philippines will have to be required to undergo a test for the disease. So, tuberculosis. We've seen cases here and there of it in the United States. It's becoming an issue in Japan. Alrighty, that's it for my notes. Where are we headed here in the United States and around the world? Well, we're seeing an increasing number of countries with rising cases. I don't have an actual tally. Maybe during the holiday weekend, I will take a tally of the countries that we're seeing rises. Not from Worldometers, but where we're seeing reports and actual charts that show, hey, there's a big rise. We know about Finland. We know about Sweden. Ireland at one point was rising. The UK, I assume it's going to rise soon. Canada's rising. Australia's rising. And of course, here in the United States. For those that are here in the United States, I have a little homework assignment for you today. If you follow me on Twitter or Blue Sky, and you're going to have to be traveling. Maybe you did already. Maybe you're doing it today. It could even be the return trip on Saturday, Sunday, or whenever you're going to return. And you have one of these lovely AirNet 4s. One of these guys right here. Could you send me, tag me on social media, an air quality reading? I would love to know what air quality readings you get. Maybe it'd be on the flight, the train, if you're taking a bus, and at the gathering that you're going to be at. I would love to see the air quality readings. If you're going to be traveling this holiday, please mask up in the airports. N95 masking is going to be your friend. And if you're one of those people that have those little personal air purifiers, make good use of it. Not only while you're traveling, make good use of it when you're at your relatives as well. I mean, explain. There's no shame in being too cautious. This is a really risky period, not just in the United States, all around the world. Any country that's seeing a rise in cases right now, this is a risky period. It's also a risky period in places that are not yet seeing a rise in cases. The places that aren't seeing a rise in cases, this has been something that we've known about since the beginning of the pandemic. When COVID levels are low, that's actually the best time for precautions to go into place. Now, we know no government or country is going to reinstate COVID restrictions. Well, safety precautions. I don't like to even call them restrictions. Safety precautions, but really, when cases are low, that's actually the best time to do it because it helps keep things low. And who knows, maybe it helps prevent a new variant from forming, prevent a new variant from coming into an area. So just be mindful of that you really need to continue to do the safety precautions. And of course, we're watching a lot of countries go up. Some countries are going to peak before the United States. I'm not going to play peakologist and race to say, oh, it's going to peak at this date when it's just starting to rise. We see so many people go on TV do that for the sake of the economy. You can't do that. You just can't. Why can't you do that? Because you know what? That makes people want, all right, we're just going to rush through this, it's over, blah, blah. No, that's not how it works. Each wave, we're disabling more people. Whether it be this wave, a wave next year, or several years down the line, the number of people disabled is going to be so high, it is eventually going to break the economy. And I'm not just saying that. It's God's honest truth. In the United States, if you become disabled, there is a long wait time to get on disability. Not everyone can afford that to happen. And guess what? If that does happen, the amount of money flowing in the economy starts sinking. And eventually, at some point, that number is going to be low enough that it's going to be hurting the economy, and the big Wall Street people are eventually going to wake up and say, whoa, something's going on here. Now, they'll try and minimize it with some phrases or whatnot, but the overall point that I'm getting at here is they will take note. What they will do about it, I don't know. But at some point, they're going to take note of all this. And once it starts hurting their pockets, I think they're going to start coming around to our point of view. It's going to take a long time. We may have to wait a couple more years, but eventually it's going to come. Alrighty, guys. Some channel notes for you. We will return back to the computer screen tomorrow. Yes, Thanksgiving Day. Why would I take Thanksgiving Day off? We took a day off last Friday. Yeah, we didn't get a chance to do. I didn't have any notes with me that day. But updates there will continue all weekend, despite there's going to be a lack of data. And I don't know what we're going to do about the wastewater update on Sunday. I'm thinking we're just going to probably bag the CEC update and just go with video from wastewater scan. So if you do not tune in tomorrow, let me be the first one to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. If you're going somewhere, be safe over this holiday. Keep your relatives safe. Keep your friends safe. Your loved ones safe. And I will see you all again next time. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe to my channel down below. If you just learned anything, by all means, subscribe to my channel. And if you know anyone that needs to see this content, by all means, share this with them. And if you got a comment, leave a comment down below. The more likes and comments we get, the better it helps the YouTube algorithm out, and the better I get viewed more, and the more we educate people about the risk of COVID and other viruses. As you heard, tuberculosis cases are starting to go up in Japan, and it's becoming a problem. Alrighty, guys, I will see you all again next time, being Thanksgiving. Until I see you again next time, stay safe, everyone, and have a fantastic Wednesday evening.